Hello, everyone. My name's Travis Frost, and I'm a consultant for the EPA, and I'm excited to inform you about the newly proposed Down East LNG project. Now, before we really get into the details of this project, I want to give you guys a basic overview. This project aims to establish an LNG marine terminal in New England that is capable of receiving, storing, and regasifying LNG while ultimately increasing natural gas storages and access. This terminal would require 80 acres of land, and the final proposal requests authorization to build a new marine terminal, including a pier, 2 LNG storage tanks, and various surrounding buildings and processing equipment. The exponential consumption of fossil fuels has led to record-setting yearly increases in atmospheric levels of CO2 while increasing the average global temperatures of 0.2 degrees Celsius over the last decade. And having more access to natural gas and having more availability to it would be beneficial to the environment because it produces 50 to 60% less CO2 following combustion compared to coal. And when you look at air pollution, it just produces negligible amounts in every aspect, mercury, sulfur, you name it. And on the right side here, I want to go over this chart as with the overall effects that this has on humans. This is just looking at strictly mortality. In 2014, air pollution was the cause of death for 3 million individuals, and it can take place in the form of lung cancer. Actually, in 2013, the World Health Organization concluded that air pollution was a carcinogen. It can also cause COPD, asthma, even heart diseases such as stroke and ischemic heart disease. Now, by no means am I saying the transportation of LNG is safe. Accidents will happen and continue to happen. But when they do happen, it would be much more beneficial to have natural gas involved because it's less poisonous. It doesn't mix with H2O. It doesn't produce those slick pockets that suck oxygen out of the water. And actually, it's largely composed of methane, which allows microorganisms to dissolve it before reaching the surface. An example of this was seen in the Deepwater Horizon accident, in which great amounts of natural gas escaped into the surrounding water. After cleanup was fully confirmed and finished, scientists determined that methane-eating microbes degraded much of the gas without evidence of serious harm to the surrounding environment. And also, LNG spills or natural gas spills are less common than other fossil fuel types. And once again, I'm not saying that LNG transportation is completely safe. It's just safer, and when accidents happen, it would be much more beneficial to have this involved. Now, one of the downsides to it would be deforestation. Deforestation is harmful in various ways. It can aid in the spreading of diseases, and Maine Lyme disease is the big one that comes to mind. And it can also affect the ecosystem in various ways. Erosion, weathering, stuff like that. And this will happen with this project, but it was taken into consideration when they select the original location. When selecting the exact location for the establishment, it was spotted right away, immediately adjacent to previously existing rights-of-ways to minimize forest and habitat loss. And along with this, guidelines are going to be followed, such as the Maine's Department of Environmental Protection, along with shorebird mitigation plans, and consultations will continue with the Maine Division of Inland Fish and Wildlife to develop and implement deer wintering area mitigation measures. Noise pollution is also going to be another harmful effect from this. In regards to animals and humans, hearing loss, poor cognitive function, and sleep disturbances, and also anxiety. This could also cause animals to flee their current habitats and become less sexually active. And this was taken into consideration as well, and this will be negated by the use of vibratory pile drivers, along with following recommendations from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Fisheries. Once the terminal and pipelines are established, monitoring will primarily be categorized into 3 major parts: terminal, pipeline, and LNG vessel monitoring. The onboard containment system for LNG vessels will include extensive onboard cargo monitoring that will relate to receiving, transporting, and discharge of the product. Hazard detection systems will be implemented to continuously monitor for terminal fires, combustion, and gas leaks. And pipelines will mainly be monitored via pressure sensors to oversee efficacy and safety. Now, when this project is reevaluated and considered a success or failure, the biggest one will be, did it get implemented? There's a strict application process. There are strict guidelines that need to be followed in order to just get this implemented, or approved even, nonetheless implemented. Also, copious amounts of energy, time, and money, and output, input, and terminal activity will be compared to similar establishments. and overall output will be compared to the original projection of 500 million cubic feet per day. I just want to end you guys with this graph right here. What this shows is our drastic increase in atmospheric CO2 over the last 60 years. We are expanding at a harmful and devastating rate. Natural gas and increasing access by terminals such as this LNG project, will not cure this, but it will be a step in the right direction. And I hope you consider this in your evaluation, and thank you for your time.